Keller Williams. Great to see all of you happy faces here this morning. Happy Monday. I am honored to be here with you. I got some great feedback. One of the things that I was told, I'm always trying to learn, Sasha, you need to slow down. So I have my miso soup here to remind me to take a breath and slow down and not talk so fast, and tea. So thank you for those of you who did give me feedback. When I was a teacher, I used to give my students the same report card to grade me that I gave them. And it was so interesting. And I love the comments. That was the best part. So I do have a feedback form. I've been with you guys now for a year. I welcome it. I got some, again, really great, helpful comments. So RJ, if you can put that in the chat, I will also do that. And we'll do it later as soon as people get on. I am always trying to learn and grow as a professional, so I welcome your input. There you go. It came from the book, The Ultimate Question 2.0, and I think it's a fantastic model. The other feedback was, Sasha, everybody's still getting on, and you like to start right at 8:30 sharp, which is great. I have this professional protocol. I try to start it in meetings on time, but that doesn't mean everybody else is on. So the suggestion was starting with opening it up. Tell me something good. What happened this weekend? Anything good in your business? Do you have any stories to share?
I'll go.
Awesome, Don.
Is that okay?
Please. Okay. It's a great idea.
I just had a good opportunity to, so I went to the family reunion, and of course that was now a week and a half ago, but I just got back from my trip. We went to Houston afterwards. So there we go. So anyways, no, I just had a good time. I stopped by the Market Center over in Houston Memorial, and they had a big meeting, and I got to sit on a small panel. It wasn't anything big. We got like a minute apiece, but all the different people from family reunion from there was there. And it was just good connecting and seeing other areas, other Keller Williams offices. And, you know, as much as it's different, it's still pretty uniform, and they have the same messages, which is great. But just, yeah, no, just figuring out how to, like, now that I'm finally getting back home, just to reconnect with all those referrals and take everything I learned to get in with that. But anyways, I also learned it's good to have a little break and get away and kind of almost disappear for a minute. But it's also good to have some good team players. Joyce Miner has definitely helped while I was gone big time. She went above and beyond on an opportunity that we had to work together on. And so it's just good to have those partners. So always make sure you have, you know, some good people there on island while you're gone. So.
Thank you, Steve, for sharing. Tell me what you noticed in the opportunity of visiting other market centers. Where's the biggest opportunity that you saw in going?
Well, the opportunity was just, you know, my dad works at that market center, so I already had kind of an in and a conversation starter. He does commercial for that in Houston, and I've already connected with them recently before family reunion, a few of them on the ALC panel there. So I think having just kind of an in or some, you could find that in any market center. I'm sure you're from that area or you know somebody that works there for a while, and then also just kind of connecting beforehand. I met a couple of people at the family reunion, met up with them, and then just seeing them there. But I guarantee, just if they're just thinking Maui real quick, don't know anybody else, yeah, I might as well give Wayne's son a chance. Or I really like Wayne, so I'm sure his son will be great. So I think just finding it in, and I know Randy Antonio is perfect at that, and he could probably get some better pointers.
Oh, it's great, Steve. The idea being that we have referral partners all over the world, and if you're traveling, stopping by those market centers, you become the Maui agent of choice. That's great.
Oh yeah, no, and it's great just because I could have sat there and relaxed and just see family and head out. But you know, just taking a couple hours out of my day to go and see their meeting and talk to them and kind of see around the office could be worthwhile, you know, for sure.
Awesome. Those of you that missed the beginning, I wanted to tell you, I got some great feedback from the survey that's in the chat telling me to slow down. So I have my miso soup. I'm going to try to be a little more chill, which is not natural for me. And again, look forward to your feedback if you haven't done the survey. I just want to learn and grow as a professional. I do have a special guest today. And as we look at our mission statement, to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. For March, we're going to focus on win-win. And I wanted to feature this agent because as a market center, if we're not helping you win and do business, it's not going to work, right? I have a weight of responsibility to make sure you get contracts because I want you to succeed in this business. And I've asked Daisha to share her story. If we go to the Y4C2Ts and the win-win or no deal, we have to win for you and help you get into contract, or this business isn't going to work. And so Daisha, if you don't mind coming on, I'd love to interview you. Daisha, I said this to a lot of you when I interview you the first time. I can identify rock stars. You don't even know it yourself yet because you haven't done the business. And I saw so much potential in Daisha. She already had a successful business, mother of 4, right? 5?
Four.
Yeah.
Don't add any more.
Yeah, and she is like here at the office every day. And Daisha, tell us how your business started.
Well, I got licensed last year around this time, February, March, but I never took the leap to actually join a brokerage until June. So that was my official start date, was in June. And I was just scared and I didn't really want to do it. Like, even though I was licensed, I just wasn't ready. And then when I finally just did it, I worked really hard, but nothing was coming of it. And I was about to leave the business in January.
How many months did you go without a paycheck?
8 months.
How much did you spend on your events?
I want to say a little under $1,000.
Daisha created this incredible event aligning her car wrapping business with real estate. And so then what happened? What happened? What was the turning point?
Well, I just told myself that I would give it at least 1 year before pulling out. So I just continued to do what I was doing. I did my open houses. I stopped being a hidden agent and started talking to people. I wasn't really a people person when I started the business, that's why. So I kind of got out of my comfort zone and just started talking naturally about real estate.
What impact did your mentor have? Tell me about that.
When I joined the mentorship program about 2 months ago, I want to say, just being out in the field and watching another successful agent and the way she ran her business. My mentor is Laura, and I knew when I met her that her business was the business that I would want in the future. So that's why I chose her as a mentor.
So you aligned yourself with someone high performing to model. And so tell us where you're at now. 8 months, I get chills talking about it because I've been watching. I knew there would be a snowball at some point. But for those of you that just started, this is what happens when you lay the foundation. It's like a house. You lay that foundation and then it goes. So Daisha, tell us where you're at now. What happened with your contract situation?
I closed on my first transaction on Friday. So that was my first closing. I currently have 3 in escrow and I have 2 listings.
That's incredible, Daisha. That's so incredible. We are so proud of you and just, you know, the perseverance that it takes. 80% of the people that come into this business walk out. In fact, in NAR, they lost 22,303 agents last month. And so when you are the one that has the escrows and is building that business, it's only going to go from here. So we are just, thank you for sharing. This is a win-win. Daisha wins. She's building a business for her and her family and the legacy. And it's a win for our market center to get to work with you. So super excited. Does anyone else have an example of a win-win that happened in their life this past week or month? Okay, well, if you think of it, interrupt me later. Yeah, go Daisha. Okay, so next slide. Our 6 personal perspectives for March, we're moving from E to P. It's a little weird. When I first came to Keller Williams, I'm like, what are they talking about? Entrepreneurial to purposeful. And basically, this is entrepreneurial is what we do naturally. So for me, it's being a little hyper, talking fast, throwing parties, I do that. The purposeful part is the stuff that it takes us beyond what comes naturally. It's those systems that we put in place that can take our business to the next level. So for me, that's okay. After you talk to the 12 people that you did, now you got to go to command, enter it, remember their names, and do the purposeful part. So I'm interested from you guys, how do you move from E to P? What's your natural that you are going to be, or maybe you have, or you're challenged to be purposeful? What is that thing you're going to work on? That one thing that will take your business to the next level. It's not natural. Kathy, this is for you. I'm digging deep. Okay, well, I challenge you, if you can't think of anything now, think about what you're not doing. The one thing that if you did, that will make that change in your business. It's easy to do what comes natural for us, right? Maybe you're not a fan of open houses, and that's something that you want to challenge yourself with. Maybe it's talking to your family and friends. You were a secret agent. I think Daisha mentioned that to me as well. Just getting comfortable talking about real estate. So that's my challenge this month. Think about it between now and next month. What are you doing that's purposeful, that's not natural, that can help you move your business forward? All righty, RJ, I think we're ready for the next one. Thank you to our board of directors. Those of you who have not met our board, they are a dynamic force to be reckoned with. I call them the dream team. We are so honored to have all of them in their leadership. If anyone on the board has something that they would like to report, we want to provide this opportunity every week. If you have anything from your committees, or this is your chance.
I've got a message to report, Jonathan here. I just want to thank the agents that are volunteering at the homeless dinner this week on Thursday. Sasha, myself, Keone, Laura, and April Soretsky. And for other agents that are interested in preparing and feeding a meal to the homeless, you can contact me. There are other nights available each month. And I just want to put an announcement out to everybody that in April, I'm working on creating a KW culture event where we can have bowling at the only bowling alley on Maui. So look forward to that, and have a great month, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Jonathan. Anyone else?
Aloha, everyone. Have a marvelous Monday in March. I'll be flying over, and I think Teresa Short might already be there, and a few others. Brady Sandall is going to be giving a luxury event. Sarah Fox and Michelle Pape's listing in Kona, and that will be tomorrow from 10 to 12 in case you're on Hawaii Island. See if you can register. I think it's limited to about 40 guests. So that should be interesting.
Awesome. We have our National Director of Luxury in state. That's fantastic. Thank you, Joyce. Anyone else? Okay.
Sasha,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
I know that Ram sent out an email last week about a scam on vacant land. And I'm
Yes.
wondering if anybody on the call today has been reached out regarding that, because I did get an inquiry about vacant land, and I've got his name. I just kind of wanted to compare notes.
Yeah.
If anybody else.
At Caravan, Peggy Ann, I think, was sharing that she actually had a client through Caldwell that was suffered that scam and lost a lot of money. And so it wasn't her personal client, but she was just sharing that it is happening. So thank you for alerting us. Does anyone have an experience with someone reaching out about vacant land? Be sure to check title, get title on that.
I have a comment on that. I know that, yes, title is very concerned and very due diligent because it has been happening a lot where the owner's not the owner. So both sides of it, seller, buyer, it has to be super meticulously, their ID. I'm sorry, somebody trying to talk.
Oh, you got it, Joyce.
So with anything, and I've had those inquiries as well, because I have a lot of land listing. I always copy and put the number in Fast People Search and see who they are, and then, either call them back, and whatever information they give me, I, go CSI on them to see if they really are an entity. But I haven't taken it much further because usually they're too vague and obscure. And that to me is a red flag that something's, not legit.
Thank you, Joyce. Yeah,
You
thank you.
can call RAM and see if they can match that name, April. Call RAM and then, yeah, like Joyce said, ask for their ID. If they balk on their ID, explain to them what the deal is, that there's a scam going around. So we just need your ID real quick. You can text it to me or whatever. If they balk at that, your red flag starts going up.
Like, what's the scam? How are they getting money out of this? How are they?
They don't own it, right? Well, they try to buy it. Sorry, let me think about this. They are trying to acquire the property, and it's all fake information, but it sounds legit. I mean, a couple of them closed, I believe. There's a video out by one of the realtors that it happened to, not in our company, but in a different company. So I'll post that up on our Facebook page.
Okay, yeah.
Because she talks about the whole thing and all that, but it's basically a false identity thing. So they act like they're somebody else, and it closes because nobody checks further. So if it seems weird, if your spidey senses go up, yeah, it's probably something weird. So
I've got a wonderful land listing in Laniapoco, but I'm going to need it to be paid for by gift cards from Walmart.
Fiona, this is interesting. I had lunch with an escrow officer a week ago, my escrow officer, and she was actually telling me some stories about this land fraud. And there's people posing as sellers, and they're going for islands where there is the most land. It's more prevalent on the Big Island and Kauai, not so much vacant land on Maui. But what they're doing, they're posing as sellers from a foreign country. They hire remotely an agent to list it. This one in particular that she was talking about closed, and the supposed seller had relocated to Thailand. But by the time they sent the closing funds, the wire to Vietnam, it was a big flag. It was too late. The feds got involved. They had to claw back all the money, and the realtors, everybody had to give back the commissions. So what escrow here, my escrow company, is doing on land listings, whenever you open like escrow, they are going to, the buyer and the seller have to sign in front of a notary. On land sales, they're not doing opening escrow docs anymore with DocuSign. It's gonna take longer to close on land sales, but they're going to require a physical presence and ID. And if they're off island or whatever, they'll send a remote traveling notary.
yeah, thanks for that reminder, Carol. Yeah, it's a fake land listing is what it is. They say they're the owner but they're not.
Yeah, thank you
is
guys.
the scam.
Awesome. I think Nicole Kovac had her hand up along with Sarah.
No, I was just saying that I've had the calls and I've had people contacting me regarding random lots that were fishy is all.
Yeah, thank you. Sarah Twitchell, do you have?
Yeah, I was just going to point out for everyone to be aware that I've heard from many agents here on the west side that they're receiving those calls, and even agents within our company, and that they've received fake documents. And so just for one agent, she was just careful and thought that she would contact the association that land listing was in and verify if that was the same seller information. And the association got back to her and said, no, that information doesn't match, even though they provided her, the fake seller provided her all the correct documents. So she went above and beyond to realize that it was something wrong. So yeah, just be aware.
Thank you so much, you guys. This is why we come together. Don't miss these meetings. You're going to hear stories that will help you professionally. Okay, what do buffaloes do when they know a storm is coming? They don't sit around and wait for it. They figured out that if you charge the storm, you get through it faster. And so that is a theme for our company, that we are in a shift, in a storm. And so we are going for it and running towards it. This is an opportunity to take market share. And so we are here to help you with that. There are classes Thursday, March 9th with Carrie. He's our tech guy. And then this Friday, Lee is teaching in the Market Center from 2 to 3, a lead gen, 36 transactions in 12 months on 3 hours a day. Lee is a legend and best in the business. He won top group over 200 transactions with his group this year. So come and learn from the best. And then our Pauhana at Lahaina last Friday was one of the best info packed that I have been at. It was incredible. The money store, Argil, provided some really specific information on creative loans. And we travel the island with these to come to you. So if you would like to participate, we're going to be in Kihei this Friday at 4 o'clock. And it's at 4. So if you want to do the 36, 12, 3 in Kahului, you can drive like I do over to Kihei for the Pauhana. Poo-poos are sponsored, and it was just a really informative session. Argil was great. So hope you guys can make that. And then if not, we'll also have it. Teresa, thank you for your leadership. Now we're starting Kahului on 3rd Friday, and we will be here in Central to, to make sure you guys can get that information. DSCR loans, there's a lot to learn and a lot of creative ways for investors to get in the market. Wanted you guys to have that. And then next up, I know Lisa has a Zillow training Wednesday, March 15th. And Randy is teaching time blocking. If you haven't taken that class, I don't know if Randy, if you're on, but it's incredible. I learn every time I come. And he'll be teaching that next slide, RJ. There we go. Next Thursday, March 16th from 1:30 to 4:30. That's right after our board meeting. And you can RSVP. I did confirm with Keone, Canoe Club is back on. So would love to have you guys join us. 9 o'clock. I'm on the injured list, so I hope you guys go have fun. I'll be back as soon as I'm up and running again. But yeah, super fun getting out on the water. It's a true example of working as a team. And we're training for a event in April. And so hope you guys can make it. If you have any questions about the weather, just text Keone and he can confirm that morning. All right, safety spotlight, situational awareness and a secure hotspot. For those of you who have not heard Dean's story, I am gonna share it, or if anybody else would like to share the story. This is another thing you don't think about. Keep track, situational awareness, keep track of those garage door openers. He actually had someone come, they looked normal, come into one of his luxury listings, take a garage door opener, move in after the showing was over. And when he tried to get them out, they said, oh no, we own the house. And then the cops came, tried to get him out, and Dean provided the title. And they said, oh no, this is a photocopy, you're gonna have to go to court. And the courts were closed. So if Dean hadn't been creative in a way to get them out, these squatters could have been there for months. So there's little tips and tricks. We want to highlight this for you guys. We have had issues here on island. If you have any questions about how you feel, trust your gut and call 911. If you want to do open houses with someone, that's always a good idea. But just want to highlight that. And does anyone have any stories they want to share regarding that? Okay, I have some big news. This is, we are in discussions as a company. We want to protect you and a lot of our policies and procedures. The main goal is to protect you professionally. Our brokers they do their diligence to study the law.
My name is Carlos Silva, and I am the.
And here's the deal. Currently in Hawaii law, if you have a rental, all of the funds need to go through a trust account in the brokerage. And so what we need to know if you have a short or long-term rental. And we're currently looking into ways that potentially, if you go, instead of having a personal, on title personally, if it's deeded in a trust or LLC, there might be the potential that doesn't have to happen. But we wanted you guys to, because we are currently gathering information about rentals in order to protect you. So let's watch the video and then I'll let Keone or anyone pop in if they would like about this.
Everyone, welcome to our video series on real estate client trust accounts. These videos are being produced by the Hawaii Association of Realtors and are funded from the Educational Fund of the Hawaii Real Estate Commission. For this edition of the video series, we will be focusing on the definition of trust properties, including the funds that must be put into a client trust account, the legal requirements that govern where and when a trust fund account must be maintained, the process to establish a client trust account, and finally issues related to the chain of custody relating to the deposits into a client trust account.
So being a new agent, I just want to make sure that I'm doing things properly. And when I'm given an earnest money check to open escrow for my buyer, can you just make sure I know what to do with that?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, just know that anything that you receive on behalf of your client in a real estate practice business has to go into a client trust fund account. It's our job to make sure we protect our clients' funds. It's our job to make sure they're secure and safe. And it's our responsibility as a broker to have a client trust fund account and to do all the accounting. So whether it's a cash, it's check, gold bullion, Allie, you will be responsible for making sure those funds go into our client trust account.
Okay, so with an earnest money check for a residential transaction, it is client trust funds.
That's correct.
Doesn't belong to me, but we're going to be going through escrow. So I would deposit that directly to escrow.
If that earnest money check is made out to the escrow company, then that absolutely, that is acceptable. It'll go right to escrow.
Great. Now, what about for rental properties? If I'm managing and I receive a check from a client for rent or a security deposit?
Anytime you receive security deposits or rental income from your client, it absolutely must go through our client trust account. Even if it's your own property, Allie, you're a licensee. By virtue of the fact that you're a licensee, you are required to have your own rental income flow through your brokerage company trust fund account.
So I can't just open up my own separate checking account for the properties that I'm managing?
No.
It has to go through our brokerage's
Yes.
trust fund account.
Your brokerage needs to have a separate client trust fund account, and you must make sure your rental income, your security deposits all go into that trust account because you are a licensed professional.
So then do I have the authority to deposit that money into the brokerage's trust fund account?
You will bring it into your company and they will deposit it into the trust fund account for you, unless you have been given the authority to do so as a broker in charge by your principal broker. Otherwise, you make sure it goes to your broker, they'll deposit it for you.
Okay, so I'm just an agent, so I'm going to hand that check over to my broker.
That's correct.
In summary, we went over what are considered to be trust funds and trust properties. And basically, these are funds or property that are given to you on behalf of your client or someone else. Examples of these include earnest money deposits, security deposits, or rental income. All of these, because they're considered to be trust properties, must be deposited into the brokerage's client trust account. Now, there are special rules about the client trust account, which your broker will be familiar with. There are also special rules about who may make deposits into that trust account. If you have questions about who is authorized to accept those deposits, those are definitely things or questions that you should talk to your principal broker about. Finally, we covered the issue about what happens in situations where agents are managing their own properties. In situations like that, you might think, well, can you just set up your own trust account and put those trust properties into it? The answer is that only your principal broker may establish a trust account, and because of that, any trust properties or funds that come into your possession must be transferred to the principal broker or their designated person in order to go into the brokerage's trust fund account. If you have further questions about any of the issues that we've covered in this video, please consult with your principal broker. Mahalo for viewing our video series.
For some of you guys, this is like, we know practice is not aligned with state law, and we are here to protect you. We do not want you to have to go through an audit or get into trouble. But the reality is, if you have a rental, long-term or short-term, you're not abiding by the law if you're taking that money yourself personally, and then it needs to go through the brokerage. And so we are working on this. We understand it has a dramatic impact on a lot of you. And so currently we're looking to see if you have your property in an LLC or a trust, if that's still the case. So we just want to give you a heads up. This is kind of a big thing. We also know there are brokerages out there that allow their people to do this. We want to protect you. That's why we provide this information. Keone, do you have anything to add?
Nope, stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. We just wanted to get that out there, show the video. Thank you everyone for joining. Again, I'm going to put my link in the chat for those of you that weren't on the beginning. I am looking to continue to learn and grow as a professional. When I was a teacher, I used to give my students the same grade form that I would give them so they could evaluate me. I would love your feedback. I've been with you in a year now, and I got some great feedback. People said, slow down, dig a little deeper. And so I am working to do that. And we're here for you. Let us know if you need anything. Have a wonderful week, and we look forward to seeing you at all the classes. Aloha.